Welcome back to the Corridor channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can take your business online and digitalize so that you can get into the fourth revolution before you find yourself at a disadvantage. Let's get into it. In today's world, it's really hard to keep up with just having paper and not having everything online. It causes a lot of issues, especially when it comes down to trying to track information and keeping everything in one place so that you as the manager can now understand what is happening to your business as a whole versus a single point in your transaction. What we need to understand about digitalization is not that it's necessarily involving anything around having to absolutely need software, but bringing everything online. Regardless of how you do that, it is critical for any business in today's world to have to do that. We've dealt with a lot of businesses that have not done this yet, and what happens is there's a lot of misinformation. There's no source of truth of data, and there's a lot of points where clients are getting upset, internal teams are struggling to keep up. What digitalizing will do for you is bring everybody on the same page so that everyone has the same information all at the same time. I've worked with multiple companies, and the companies that I've worked with have not gone digital yet. But when they bring me in so that they can become digital. So everything comes into one place. One of the projects that I worked on that was really fun, but needed a lot of digitalization, was a project where we actually did a lot of recruiting, and in that recruiting we had to actually bring everything off paper because everything was sign-in paid. All the sign-in pages were on paper. Everything was being transactioned through email and through scanned documents, and it was an absolute nightmare. And what was causing that issue was the fact that there was no source of information. There was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of, it was his fault, her fault. It was just a bad situation for the business, and we were actually falling behind significantly in the project. What happened was they went from being able to recruit a maximum of 300 people to about 1,200 people. So they quadrupled their numbers just by going digital. That's why it's so important that all businesses get on the digital train. Otherwise, the competitors are just gonna eat you up, especially if they've digitalized. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the 3 parts that you need to consider when you're about to go digital. Part number 1, automate your business processes. This is such a critical part of any business digitalization. You need to understand which part of your business needs to be automated. It's very easy to jump onto software and really get into the digital world, but if you don't know what needs to be automated and what needs to be connected, you're doomed for failure. That's why it's important to understand which segments you can automate as much as possible. That way, you're actually digitalizing correctly. There are 3 things to look out for that will really make it easy for you to understand automation. One is CRM. That's the number 1 easiest thing to really focus on in automating. Salespeople definitely need CRM no matter what, because you got to be able to manage those contacts and manage those sales and really understand the sales cycle and what activities have happened on that sales cycle. Number 1, focus on your CRM. The next big one is ERP or HR, any of those tools that have mundane tasks that really you don't need human interaction, and you can really utilize technology to do all the heavy lifting of that process. The next big thing is business process management. Business process management allows you to understand as a manager the whole picture of your company. This is critical. This is massive. This is what will drive your success and make you focus on the big picture rather than the small operational things that are happening within the organization. Once you have everything else in order and everything is working as according to plan, the big picture becomes a huge aspect in driving your vision for your business forward. So having a business management software or some sort of database or analytics, these are a massive help to your vision and your business so that you can grow no matter what happens in the economy. The second part that you want to really focus on is going paperless. It is incredible how many businesses today still use paper for all their transactions, all their receipts, all their work orders, everything. Paper is dead. Paper is not only great for the environment, but it also impacts your business because paper always goes missing, and filing those papers and all that stuff costs you money at the end of the day. Cloud doesn't cost you that much money. Digitalize it all. Make sure they get scanned, they go into the system, create a functional system within your organization to be able to scan documents and keep all that stuff on a single hard drive, or even on the cloud, which is most preferable. But then that way, no matter how it happens, you can easily search and archive all your documents. And for part number 3, once you have your first 2 parts, this part becomes the easiest part-ish. This becomes your cloud-based solutions, okay? This is where you can go out and start sourcing and understanding what you need from your software in order to achieve success. Remember, and we always talk about it with our clients, you gotta create objectives, okay? What is the point of you going and getting a software? It cannot just be a general, I just need a CRM system. You need to understand what you need your CRM to do. So in the case of part 1, if you find out that you do a lot of email transactions, that's what you need to look for in your CRM. A very good CRM system that can track your email transactions so everybody's on the same page, from sales to our project management to even your technicians, or whatever it is that you do in business. Ultimately, you need to understand your objective for each of the platforms you're about to onboard. If you can get a software that does it all in one, which out of box is fairly impossible, but you can always build. For example, we build full ERP systems. We always try to understand what the overall business objective of that software is. What are you trying to do? In terms of the bigger enterprises that we work with, they try to do it for their management team so that the data is all in one place. They can analytically understand what's happening in the business, and they can get an overarching picture and be able to drive vision and future goals all in one place. That's where you get huge value from software. We've actually talked about out-of-box versus custom softwares. I'll link it down below so you can actually check that video out, and it really gives you guidance on how to pick out-of-box software versus custom software. So don't be afraid to invest in software. Software can save your life, but at the same time, it can actually really hurt your business. So be careful on picking software, but don't be afraid to pick software. So to recap on how to digitalize your business, you want to follow these 3 major parts. 1 is understand the business process and what you can automate within that business process. Understand what HR qualities you need and what can be automated, what kind of business analytics you need, and what kind of, like, for example, CRM or project management tools you're gonna need from your digitalization. Second part is go paperless. Forget the paper. Scan, document, everything should be digitalized and put on the cloud so that everybody on the team can have access to it, and you are less likely to throw things out accidentally or miss something. So it's critical for you to absolutely go paperless. At Corridor, we don't deal with paper. We don't even have a printer. So we truly do walk the talk in this case. And finally, part number 3 is to go on the cloud. Choosing software, make sure you understand your objective, and really vetting the softwares that you're looking at to make sure that everything fits correctly and that it doesn't actually become more of a burden, but actually helpful to your organization. Again, digitalization is a very good thing, but it can become a pain if you do not do your due diligence correctly. That's it for this video. I hope you guys got some value out of it. If you guys have any comments or thoughts, please comment down below. Otherwise, subscribe, like this video, share with anyone that you believe can utilize this. And until next time, Corridor out.